So he's here, guys. He has signed. Rasmus Højlund has signed for Manchester United. Huge signing. I'm delighted with it. Young, hungry striker. Huge potential. It's a far cry from what we've been used to seeing from Man United buying strikers in recent years. Players that are at the latter stages of their career, no doubt in their quality, but at the latter stages of their career, you can build now around someone like this. There's a time on the hand of 5 years with a year option. So you know you got the time. Big money. We're hearing £64 million plus add-ons of 8 million. And that's less than what Atalanta wanted. I think Atalanta wanted €90 million, £77 million pounds. So they've got him for cheaper than what the demand was at the time. And I think what it is, we can talk about the player. I'll talk about the player second. I think Manchester United's strategy, Manchester United's approach, Manchester United's execution in this transfer window has been a huge, huge step up in the right direction for me, because it was decisive, it was quick, it was efficient. They had clear targets. They've got all three of the targets that they wanted, the three main targets. They wanted Mason Mount, they went early, they got him. They wanted Onana, a new goalkeeper, they went and got him. They wanted a new striker, they got the one they wanted. That's why I'm hearing the ones that they wanted, all three, they went and got. And so it's been a huge step in the right direction in that sense. I think Man United have been very laboured in the transfer windows in recent years. They've had to wait till late stages in the transfer window to execute on certain signings. So this is a very, very different approach, a very concise, clear identity of who they want, or identification of who they want, and go out and get them. And I think the people behind the scenes, John Murta, etc., have to be given the credit, because I think people are quick to criticise when they've gone out and done the business. The manager's highlighted who he wants. These players all fit the bill of what the manager wants in terms of his playing style. And I think no one says that more than the goalkeeper, Onana. You've had probably arguably one of the best shot stoppers in world football for the last 5 or 6 years in David De Gea. And you've put that to one side and said we need a goalkeeper who primarily is great with their feet and can help us play a certain way of playing football. Yes, he's a good shot stopper, but his best asset is with his feet and his calmness. And I think that just shows you that this manager has a clear way of wanting to play a certain style of football, and he's gone for it. I think Højlund, one thing you have to think about when you look at him, he's a young, hungry, brave, quick, mobile striker. When you look at his goal ratio, you would say, listen, when you look at it at a glance, he's not someone he jumps off the page and says, wow, this kid scored goals at every level. He's a huge numbers. No, but I think for minutes, his goal ratio is decent. I think there's going to be an improvement, need to be an improvement in terms of goals, but I think that you've got to give him the time. And I think we've got to steer away from he's cost X amount of money, we need it immediately. This is a young player. I think Núñez is a good example at Liverpool. Comes in for big money, doesn't hit the ground running perfectly, but I think you've got this season, I think you look at Núñez, you can judge him properly this season. I think Højlund will probably be along those lines. But I think he gives us definitely a focal point. I think when you watch his clips especially, I think you can see the mobility is going to be a huge plus for this team. I think they're in transitions. There's going to be real pace burners. I think last season you're only looking at Rashford in terms of transition. This year, I think he's someone who can add that for us, definitely. I think he's going to be a real asset. So I'm delighted in that sense. I think, as I said, Man United, everyone, I was looking and saying Harry Kane, Osimhen. Manchester United obviously wanted to spread the funds across 3 different players, and I think if they'd had to go and get an Osimhen or a Kane, that wouldn't have been possible to get the players that they've gone and got. So they've hedged their bets, and I think they've improved the squad 100%. Will there be any more activity? I'm not sure, but if you have to say to me, have Man United had a good window, I will say yes, 100%. Very good window. So looking forward to seeing Højlund come in, put the shirt on. He was a Man United supporter as a kid. We've seen that, the pictures. He's Man United supporter all his life. Love to see that. And that's always an added value, an added bonus when you've got someone who actually wants to play for the shirt because there's a genuine love and there's a passion for the club. So everything's positive at the moment, but we all know it can change quickly. So a ball gets kicked, a player makes a mistake, the heat's on. Just how these players deal with that, because it will happen. I think Ten Hag's been really important for the team. I think I've struggled to see players that have come in over recent years and improved. Whereas I think now with this management, this coaching staff, I'm seeing improvement in players in the way that they're performing on a regular basis, on the way that their the stats and analysts will be looking at their performances and going, I can see genuine improvement. I think we'll see an uplift in all the players again this season. I'll give a good example, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Before Ten Hag come to Man United, everyone would have said, most people were saying, get rid of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Good defender, 1v1, but is he good enough on the ball? Loads of question marks, etc. The manager's come in, there's no doubt in my mind that Aaron Wan-Bissaka's improved. Luke Shaw's found a level of consistency we'd not seen previous to this. The new signings, Martinez, flying. Bruno's still playing at the same level. Casemiro doing things that I didn't know that he could do, because the ask of him was different in a Real Madrid shirt. Eriksen producing. Marcus Rashford went to a new level. And I'm sure the players that come in and the players that are there will improve again, because I think those are the demands that are being put on them through this coach. I think a really good point was I watched the game against Dortmund. A young player, Amari Forsson, was brought off. He'd got into a few little heated scuffles and skirmishes with one of the opposing players at Dortmund, and the manager brought him off before half-time. Now, for a player to be brought off before half-time, your ego, your pride is going to take a bit of a bashing, so it has to be something, either an injury normally or something serious. But the manager, it wasn't about him bringing him off, it was afterwards. And I watched the manager talk to him and try to educate him. You can't do this, I'm presuming he said. You can't act like this, you need to learn from this, etc. It was not a conversation, he's telling him. And I like that. That's that bit of discipline that's been brought into the place where you're not going to do what you want. You're not going to think you could. There's no actions without consequences. I think every action in this club now has a consequence, and I think the best managers have that. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Erik ten Hag in that sense, and looking forward to the season starting.